Alrighty, thanks for joining me here. My name is Beto Paredes, and you are here for the Thursday Morning Mindset. We do this every single morning, Monday through Friday, to get our mindset, to get ready to make the day that we're in count. And I hope it's been working for you. You know, I get in here in the morning and I spend some time preparing my day, looking at the things that I need to do, speaking with some partners, figuring out how to tackle the day. But you know, I get onto this mindset, and that's my first real strong step towards having an incredible day. And so I'm here for you. I am very pleased to have as many of you on here as I do on a daily basis. You can learn more about me at betoparedes.com. And if you'd like to join us and you're listening to this on a recording, you can join us live every single weekday, right? Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by going to tinyurl.com MMS today and getting registered. So Thursday, 2 days left in the week for some of you. For me, I work 6 days a week. I work Monday through Saturday. And even if I have a tremendous amount to get done, I usually do. I still try to turn everything off on Sunday, spend that day with my family, with my thoughts, with my spiritual perspective. It's important to have at least one day that you really unplug. So I'm going to talk about a subject today. I'd like you to get a pen, a notebook, make a few notes, figure out how you can take the subject that we are speaking about today and integrate it into how you plan to take action today. Remember, the morning mindset is focused on what can be done right now in this moment. How do you get into state at this very second in order to make your day count, make your day matter? Because no matter what your plans are and how you see the vision of your life, what matters the absolute most is the strategy and perspective that you have on what you plan to accomplish today. Okay, so what are the outcomes that you seek? Okay, this is a very important question, and it's been coined from so many different perspectives by so many people. I would say that my favorite explanation is in the RPM program that Tony Robbins has, RX standing for results. What are the results that you really want to see in your life? What do you really want to see happen? When you define that specifically, you're able to get a much better idea of where you should be driving your perspective. So you would imagine to a degree that may be in the perspective of goals. Now, I'm not saying that goals specifically aren't good to have in perspective as a potential outcome, all right, but the reality is what an outcome really is in this perspective. What I'm talking about this morning is with all of the actions you are absolutely already taking, the strategy that you have in your business. As much as I'd like to have my outcomes be very specific to, let's say, becoming a millionaire, buying a very large house, what you really want to think about is what are the outcomes that you want from all of the activities and actions that you're taking? What is the outcome that you would like to see by the end of today? What is the outcome you'd like to see from this week? What are the outcomes that you would like to see from every specific individual person that you speak with? If you start thinking from that perspective, and let me tell you, it's hard to think from that perspective. It's much easier, for example, if let's say you've just gotten into a network marketing business, much easier to feel very excited about the new training or the material or the product, or you get this idea of you with the hat and t-shirt, you're part of the brand, you're experiencing this fascination, this imaginative, really somewhat illusory perspective that feeds that fantasy, that feeds that pleasurable aspect of, wow, I'm part of this. And I'm certainly not saying that that's not a critical function. I'm not saying that's not important. But what I will tell you is this. When you look at it prospectively from outcomes, for example, you just got recruited, let's say. Well, maybe your prospective outcome would be that you're going to get 2 people onto a webinar by the end of your first day. That takes a little bit of the magic out of it. Sometimes you don't really want to think about it from that perspective, And some people look at it as negative. Well, let me tell you something I really like about Tony Robbins and what he teaches is that you've got to redefine what's pleasurable in your life. Okay, like for example, working out for anybody when they first begin is always going to be experienced as strenuous. Okay, for me specifically, I've been going through the process of getting into ketosis. For any of you that know what that is or how that works or what going into ketosis means, you're eating very, very low carbs. So even though I experience, in my opinion at this point, pleasure pretty consistently from working out. When at the beginning I did not. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. I hate this. The reality is I learned to do that, but now I'm going into ketosis, which is a whole different level. It's more difficult to work out because you're forcing your body to burn ketones instead of carbs, instead of glucose. And so because of that, I'm going through it all again, but I'm learning to get pleasure from the fact that my body and my mind gets clear from working out. So you have to redefine it. When you've got these illusory perspectives, you get addicted to the ideas, the idea of being a distributor, the idea of making money, the idea of getting rich, the idea of becoming a millionaire. These are ideas. What you have to do is you've got to convert your pleasure center to outcomes, to defining outcomes and then accomplishing them, getting clear, okay, getting distinct about what it is that you want, okay? And I'm going to give you some ideas of how you can do that and be a little bit more specific around it and even have a little bit of fun with it, okay? So when you have a clear idea of what your core desires in life are, you need a way to reinforce your commitments on a continual basis. Now, this is important. People in general are very complex animals, and they have a just huge number of correspondences that happen to connect with each other on a daily basis in your mind. The images that we have, the subconscious images that we deal with, the archetypes we deal with on a daily basis, in combination with all the interactivity with the people in our lives, the emotions that we're feeling, and then of course all of our perspective about our business, our self-esteem, whether it's high or low. There's so many different things our mind deals with, okay? So when you keep it simple and you think about, this is going to sound paradoxical to you, but it's important. When you keep it simple, for example, I'm going to recruit 2 people today. I'm going to get 2 people onto the webinar today. That one simple idea, as much as it may spur potential action, needs reinforcement. I'm going to get 2 people on the webinar today to show myself I can do it. I'm going to get 2 people on the webinar today because I need to get better at communicating, and that's a good goal to make that happen. I'm going to get 2 people on the webinar today because I need to get this process moving forward in order for it to really start picking up momentum. I'm going to get 2 people on the webinar today because normally on a given day I wouldn't even look at getting 2 people, and so I need to change the way I see things. What I'm doing is I'm building more and more and more distinctions around the idea of why I need to get these people on the webinar today. And you would imagine in your mind that you'd want to keep it just real simple. Get them on the webinar today because I want them to join the business, because that's the simple side of it. But the more distinctions you actually build around that idea, the more reasons you have for that idea to actually come to fruition, the more momentum and energy you're going to build, because you cannot escape the fact that you are a human being and that you have a complex correspondence reality handling all of your experience all the time. We are complex creatures, okay? I'd love to tell you that the simplest things are the most effectual. In some degrees they are. You give somebody something simple to do, the simplicity lies in the outcome. Okay, getting 2 people on a webinar, that sounds very simple. That's not as complicated as I want to become a millionaire, or as I'm a representative of this brand, or as I know everything about the product, or as any of those other fairly complex perspectives. Is simple. I want to get 2 people onto a webinar, but now you've got to combat the fact that you are a human being, and human beings have a complex mentality. So start building distinctions around that one potential idea. I need to get 2 people on a webinar because I need to make some money. I need to get 2 people on a webinar because I want to experience what it's like to recruit. I need to get 2 people on a webinar to show myself I can actually do this business. You take a simple idea and start building a compounding number of distinctions around that one idea. Pretty soon your mind has a variety of correspondences associated with that idea, which reinforces it, makes it powerful, makes it almost completely unforgettable, fights very, very hard against your insecurities, your self-esteem issues, your inertia, your laziness, your desire to think about other things, because you continue to build distinctions around a very simple but straightforward idea, okay? The more distinctions you have about your desired outcomes, the more drive and focus you will be able to apply towards them. It's not that you create drive. It's that drive is created through the number of distinctions and reinforcements that you have around an idea. Okay, let's use working out, for example. Okay, I work out because I want a nicer body. Okay, believe it or not, that's not my main reason. I want a healthy heart. That's my main reason. Okay, there's another one. I work out because I want a healthy heart. I work out because I know by conquering the challenge of working out, I can conquer the challenges at work. I work out because I know that it forces me to deal very directly with pressure. I work out because I'm able to achieve things quickly and actually have accomplishments happen quickly. That's the thing about working out in general. It's one of the nicest things to do, because in all of the challenges and everything that we're trying to train our mind to understand and handle in life, working out, that's direct, right? Can you do one more push-up than last time? You know, can you handle going through the entire 45 minutes of HIIT training without falling over? Very direct, very distinct there. So I could build a number of correspondences and distinctions around that, right? I work out because I want to have energy when I have my kids. I work out because I want more blood to be going into my brain on a consistent basis, helping my intellect. The more distinctions I make, the more correlations I make, the more thought patterns I have that come back to that one core desire that I have to make happen. Okay, you can start doing this with larger scale. I want to be a millionaire. Well, how many distinctions can you draw around that? That could take all day. But if you don't do it, if you don't have a real clear understanding of where you're heading and why, okay, because our core desires or our goals to some degree, they're always simple. They're always very distinct in and of themselves. It's the number of distinctions that we build around them that matter the most. Think about it like this. When you can see the results from many angles, you can picture much more clearly what that result looks like. Okay, for a kind of a clear picture, let's look at it this way. If there's a car that you really like and you go to a dealership and you look at it from the front, let's just say it's a Lamborghini. We'll all picture a Lamborghini right now. Well, that looks very slick, just the way that the hood slides right into the windshield, come off to the front. It's beautiful, right? Absolutely beautiful. Well, if I start walking around that car and looking at from more angles, I can get more distinct about its total picture. I'll go all the way around the back, look at that nice fin, I'll look at the beautiful rims on the wheels. I open the car up and I look inside the car, I sit in it, I stretch and kind of grab the wheel. You notice it's all still the same car, but I'm getting more and more distinctions around what that car actually is. So now when I think about earning enough money to buy a Lamborghini, I don't just think about looking at it from the front or a picture I saw on the internet. I remember the smell of the leather, right? I remember the actual feel of the wheel. I remember what it was like to click the seat belt. And maybe if I'm lucky and I'm really at a dealership and they trust me, I might be able to take that thing for a ride. Imagine how distinct that is to be able to actually drive the Lamborghini as opposed to sit there and just look at it. So now I've built up a tremendous amount of distinctions around that prospective car. I've looked at it from several angles. So let me say this again. Think about it like this. When you can see the results from many angles, you can picture much more clearly what the result looks like. Okay? Come up with more distinctions as to why you need certain things to happen. Write down what you want your outcomes to be. And don't get stuck in fantasy. Think about today, this week, this month, and start developing a way of looking at that from as many angles as you can, because what that does for the human mind is it allows your consciousness to develop a larger number of correspondences between the way you see things and the things that you want, so that it has less opportunity to trail away, right? More things become related to the things you want as you think more, because you created more distinctions around it. It's just a trick that you can use. It's called thinking through what you want. How's that for simple high school information there, right? Think it through. What are all the angles? Why do you want it? Why are you going to work out every day? Why are you going to wake up on time every day? Why are you going to work hard in your business? Why are you going to recruit 2 people a day? Not just one why. How many distinctions can you get? How many different correspondences can you create to that one idea? Because the more correspondences you create, the more powerful that idea becomes, and the more capable you become of making it an actual reality. Okay, so let's write down a few outcomes today. What do you want to see happen by the end of the day? Write it down. Okay, now let's reinforce that. What do you want to see done by the end of the week? Let's start there. Let's start simple. So, again, write a few things down from what we talked about today. See how you can incorporate that. What are the outcomes you seek? Okay, not just a fuzzy picture of them. You want to have clarity, and remember, clarity requires you to look at it from every angle you can. Be as distinct as you can. Stay simple in the outcomes you want so they're clear, but be as complex and as varied in your correspondences or distinctions towards that one end as you can, because then it will continue to strap your mind back towards that one perspective, and you will accomplish a tremendous amount in your life. Tomorrow's Friday. You guys know what I say about Friday, so let's get ready for it. Let's get ready to make tomorrow huge. Let's make today extremely successful. Get focused, jump up and down, get a little bit of blood going in your system. Let's all work together to make this a powerful day. Thank you for joining me, and we will be back again tomorrow morning.